Welcome back to GBGuns, and as you may have noticed, we've begun working with Kahr Arms, going over some of their rather well-made, American-made handguns. This one's got a hard case, which means it's a little different from the ones you've seen before. What's inside is coming up next on GBGuns. So in this very nice and cleanly displayed case, we of course get our instruction manual, which is fairly thorough. And we've got the P9, which comes with 1, 2, 3 magazines. 2 of them are 6-rounders, a 7-rounder, and you get your trigger lock. I'll get the case out of the way and we'll take a look at the gun. So the P9 is from their premium series, not the value series, so a few things are a little different on it than on the CW9. And you can already kind of tell the finish looks a little bit cleaner. We'll get into more of that later. First, let's show clear. Sort of that low tire pressure magazine release. Stainless steel mag. Ooh, slick up front. And the chamber's clear. A little stiff. Alright, so looking around the front. Slide to frame, incredibly snug. One of the things different about this P-line is it's polygonal rifling and match grade versus the push button. We also have tritium night sights instead of the plastic sights. A little more machining on the slide, rather pretty. Also the slide release, slide lock is cut from solid steel rather than a MIM part like on the value series. Check that trigger. There's that classic smooth Kahr double action. It's rather long. These are defensive guns. I'm okay with that in a defensive gun and actually prefer it because that's a lot more time for making sure that you didn't want to or did want to shoot. It's definitely learnable, as I just demonstrated there. You can tell where it's going to go and then just finish. Magazine release sticks out far enough to reach it. Smooth front of the trigger guard and no rail. Some checkering on the front strap. Slight texturing on the sides. Checkering on the rear strap. Back end of the gun. Much tighter, much cleaner than the CW9 was. And nothing on the right side of the gun. Now the difference between this and the value line seems to be around $180 depending on where you shop. I'll do a separate video comparing the two and try to highlight some of the other differences. Let's pull this thing apart and take a look inside. Now for disassembly, we've got to move the slide back until that notch lines up with that notch on the frame, and then push out the slide stop, slide release, depending on how you like to use them. Sometimes you got to use something to push and pry. Looks like it's not quite coming out smoothly on this first attempt, which makes sense, brand new gun. I'll get something to pry real quick. With that pried up a little bit, you can now pull it out. Let's slide it forward, pull the trigger, and it separates. Taking a look inside our frame. Rather simple construction. Looks like almost everything is in the slide. So open the slide. We have an uncaptured recoil spring, steel guide rod, and looking inside the slide, it's a bit physically dirty but otherwise clean construction. External extractor, and our barrel. We've got that lengthy feed ramp that is mirror polished. Get some of this crud away from here. Let me wipe this off real quick. Alright, with that cleaned off a little more. See, very nicely made barrel. We'll do our chamber check using a Nosler match grade for unquestioned dimensions on the round. Drops in and looks like not quite fully supported chamber. So more like a Glock. Overall, I'm pleased with this gun, just in the construction and handling of it. I do like that you get the extra magazines. I found the CW9 to be a touch short for my hands, but of course these are meant to be concealed carry models, not necessarily comfort models. So we'll get it back together and out to the range soon. For our shooting impressions, I am curious to hear what your thoughts are on these. I've noticed that Kahr fans tend to either be diehard fans or people who never shot them before. And we've shot two so far, the CW9 and also the 45 in the same size. And I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed, especially for an American-made gun at an affordable price. Leave your comments down below, and don't forget to click on the bell to know when our shooting impression video comes out. Thanks for watching. Hey, thanks for watching GBGuns. If you've waited this long, you either appreciate what we're doing, or you're trying to formulate some type of argumentative comment and get the fight going. Either way, click the big griffin up here to subscribe and see our upcoming videos. Don't forget, by the way, to click on that little bell thing. That gives you a notification, lets you know when there's a new video. Down here is the link for our Patreon. Google revenues have cut. Those covered most of our ammo costs and expenses. If you subscribe to Patreon, you get a sneak peek at some of our videos before they go out to the general public. Those of you doing $10 or more a month do get one of our GBGuns patches. These are quite limited because this stuff's expensive. Up here is a video that Google suggests you'll like based on your watching history. I don't know if it's any good or not. You tell me. And then down here is the playlist most relevant to the video you just watched. Keep in mind, some of these videos fit in more than one playlist. I select one, that's what gets there. But anyways, that's the way the channel works, and thanks again for watching.